Hello, folks. This is Chris Wyatt reporting from Stellenbosch in the Western Cape of South Africa, where many big developments are underway. Recent events include a conference on Friday, the 4th of August, 2023, in the Western Cape about the idea or the concept that small parties who don't achieve a minimum number of votes in the general election would not receive a seat in Parliament. The existing situation is you get a proportional seat if you didn't win an outright seat. Now, this, of course, can lead to fractious governments. We've seen this in Italy. And in fact, the Germans set a threshold of 5% in the general election in order to have themselves seats in the Parliament. So any party in Germany that doesn't get 5% of the popular vote doesn't get a seat in Parliament. Now, many would argue, I think rightly, that that leads to disenfranchisement for those who voted for a party but it didn't get a seat. The problem, of course, with allowing 100 or 200 or 300 or 40 parties into Parliament is it becomes a fractious little situation where you really can't get anything accomplished. And that's what they're trying to overcome here in South Africa. That said, the South Africans are looking at a 1% threshold, which is much more generous than, say, the Germans have. But it would eliminate a number of minor parties that don't have broad support across the country, parties that are regionally focused and would not get a seat in the new Parliament for the election in 2024. While that's going on, the backdrop of that, in the city of Cape Town, the mother city here in South Africa, there's been a massive taxi industry strike, which has left many workers stranded trying to get home from work the past few days or get to work. We're talking about tens of thousands of folks, domestic workers, those who work in retail shops, those who work in gasoline stations, petrol station attendants, everybody. And most of the people affected by this strike, of course, are poor black South Africans. But it seems to matter not one iota to the taxi industry. Now, you might be wondering, why is the taxi industry on strike in Cape Town? Well, that would be because the Metropolitan Police in Cape Town decided to start enforcing the law, pulling over vehicles that didn't have proper license plates on them, that weren't properly serviced, inspecting them, and finding out that a large number of vehicles are not roadworthy and therefore dangerous. So you can look at this as the taxi industry would prefer to drive dangerous vehicles, which put the lives of their passengers in jeopardy every single day, than have roadworthy vehicles. And that's the situation. We've seen on the first day 2 buses torched. On the second day, another bus torched and one bus driver shot at. Unconfirmed reports of whether he was actually hit or not, but he was shot at. And total chaos as people try to get out of the city of Cape Town on the first day. Not so bad on Friday. A lot of people not going in on Fridays, so the traffic a bit better on Friday. But the taxi industry says they'll continue this strike for about another week. This could cripple Cape Town as businesses wait for their employees coming in from remote areas into the mother city to get to work, and for those trying to get home at night. Rather inconvenient, to say the least. And amidst all that, of course, we have here in South Africa 2 major events coming up this month in August of 2023. The first, of course, being the National Convention, the so-called Moonshot Pact effort to cobble together an opposition grand alliance, if you will, that would help unseat the African National Congress after 30 years in power in 2024. That's taking place on the 16th and 17th of August at Emperor's Palace in Kempton Park, O.R. Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg. I'll be there covering those events and give you updates on that. Additionally, the next big event after that, of course, in South Africa is the BRICS Summit. That is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa loose grouping, an acronym created by a Goldman Sachs analyst about 22 years ago. Now, aspiring to be some sort of non-aligned movement or counterweight to the Western Alliance, to capitalism. I'm not really sure what they really think they're going to accomplish, but the BRICS Summit is taking place here in South Africa, in Sandton City, the richest square mile in all of Africa, in Johannesburg. I'll also be covering those events. Anyway, folks, that's an update on the situation here in South Africa. Appreciate your support. Take care of yourselves and be safe out there.